Hey guys, King, welcome to another Autism Digest interview, where today we have someone that you might recognize from American Idol. He made it to the top four and was able to compete alongside two major country music stars, Scotty McCreery and Lorna Elena. I think I'm pronouncing those names right. He was diagnosed with autism and Tourette's when he was 9 years old, but despite that, he's been able to produced several hit singles and lead the rock band Quiet Riot from 2017 to 2019. And his name is James Durbin. Thanks for coming on, James.
Thank you, Caden. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Well, I think a lot of people might know you. American Idol was popular back in the 2010s, and they might know you from a lot of your singles, including the top 40 hit Parachute. But for those that may not know the name James Durbin, do you mind telling us your story in your own words?
Sure. I was born in 1989 in a town called Santa Cruz in California, which is what my shirt is, and it's where I still live. Still living in my hometown, which I love. You may have seen the Santa Cruz logo, the screaming hand. They're known for their surfboards and their skateboards and their just kind of culture in general. I was born to a single mom. I have two older sisters. I was diagnosed when I was 10 years old. I was diagnosed at Stanford Medical Center with Tourette syndrome. And then the neurologist was like, hey, said to my mom, you might want to check him and see if he's also autistic, because I think he is. And that doctor would be right. And so growing up was kind of crazy back then. I'm 36 now, so growing up back then in the early 2000s, there wasn't as much acceptance, there wasn't as much information, there wasn't as much relatability with anything having to do on the spectrum. I don't even think on the spectrum was a term that was coined back then. But so it was a lot of learning for my teachers, a lot of learning for my school district, of like getting an IEP and a 504 plan and all those things. And it was kind of a big first for a lot of those things. So, but what I always loved was music and performing. And those were things that distracted me and distracted my neurosystem from the things that it was firing off these sensors for my autism and my Tourette's tics and everything. And it helped me to kind of blend in a little bit more. But it's something that I loved and I still love it. And it's, in a way, it's my escape. But I also gladly go there because I love the feeling that I get playing music, singing, writing music, performing, any of that. I just absolutely love it. So in 2011, 2010, I auditioned for season 10 of American Idol. And backtracking a little bit, what the doctors said to my mom basically was, your son probably won't have a job. He probably won't drive. He probably won't have a family, probably won't have any of this. And I have all those things. And so if I could see that doctor again today, I'd just kind of laugh at him, but also thank him, because I didn't want to be that. And so knowing that that's what was expected of me, which was little to none, I wanted to, it just made me want to do those things more. So, got on American Idol. My fiance and my son encouraged me to do it. And ever since then, that was almost 15 years ago, I've been a full-time working musician. I've released, I don't know how many albums with how many different bands and singles, and I'm still writing and creating music and playing and touring with like 6 different bands at this point.
Yeah, that's amazing. I relate to you in a way. When I was diagnosed at 2 years old, I'm about to be 21 in July. The doctor told my parents, don't expect college for him. Expect trade school at best. And look at me now. I'm about to graduate college in 2026. So I'm the same way. If I could see that doctor now, I'd ask for his opinion on why he came to that conclusion, like what
Yeah.
motivated it. Because just because these people have degrees doesn't mean they have the power to determine our future.
Right.
My next question for you is how do you think autism has helped you in your creative process when producing an album or performing?
Well, first off, I do want to say congrats on everything that you've accomplished and the track that you're on to accomplishing a college degree. That's amazing. That's really cool. I think that autism has helped me. I think I I think it's helped me, and I think I've helped it. At least my own autism. Um, through going on American Idol and giving the neurodivergent community as a whole like a beacon of hope, and that's not for me. I'm not taking any credit for myself for that, but the fact that I have it doesn't have me, and then taking that onto TV and showing, whatever it was, 24 million viewers at that point, um just what is possible. That just because a diagnosis is written on paper, it sounds scary, it's new, it's different. But I said it back then, and then they turned it into a TV show. I should have copywritten it, but I said different is the new normal, and I still firmly believe that. There's so much that has happened. There's so many people that I've met in the decade and a half since being on American Idol that have told me that what I did inspired them. Like just yesterday, somebody wrote me on Instagram saying that when I was 14, I loved American Idol. I'm 27 now. You were my favorite on Idol. I'm 27 now, and I remembered I'm finally gonna see if I can if I'm gonna be diagnosed. Like they literally got diagnosed with high functioning autism yesterday. Um, and we're like, you changed my life, thank you. And it's like, that's, hold on, like, but thank you. Like that's just really cool that that it can inspire people like that. And I've met so many kids and adults and parents. I've written forewords for people's books about their experiences raising children with Tourette's and with autism, and it's really inspiring, even to me, even though I'm the person that it's kind of happening to. But I'm able to spin that around and make it happen for the autism community in general. It's really special.
I absolutely agree. And that's amazing that they got diagnosed because of you.
Yeah.
It's honestly beautiful. My next question for you is you are the lead singer of the band Quiet Riot, a band that's been around since the 70s, 80s, and has gone through a lot of lineup changes. Yes, you were there for 2 years. What was that experience like? And are you still in touch with the members of the band today?
I'm not really in touch with them today. But when I was involved with the band, I loved it. It was amazing. It was something that I always really wanted to do, was to front an existing band that was without their singer, and their original singer, the one true singer of Quiet Riot, was Mr. Kevin DeBro, and he passed away in 2009, I believe. And but growing up and being into 80s hair metal and 80s rock and even some of their glam stuff in the late 70s, um, I always looked at Kevin DeBro as somebody that I could like relate to musically. He was tall and lanky and had crazy hair, and was just such a wild man on stage and such a incredible performer. And I loved how he striped his microphone stands. How they were like black and white, kind of barbershop striped, candy cane striped. And I started doing that even as a 16-year-old in my bands, seeing that Kevin did it. And when the call came to join the band, I was actually already involved in a production in Las Vegas, a short residency. and in like a variety show, which was weird, and it didn't last very long because it was weird. And the people that were running it didn't know what they were doing. But while I was out there, I ended up. I had to say, I'm sorry, I can't join Quiet Riot right now because I'm already doing this thing. But thank you. If it comes up again, reach out, let me know. And so I go out to Las Vegas, and one of the people that I link up with randomly is happens to be the guitar player from Quiet Riot, current guitar player of the last almost 20 years, Alex Grossi. And we hit it off, and we had met each other previously because he was married to one of my attorneys back in the Idol days. And he and I hit it off, and we started a songwriting duo, and just became close friends. And it turns out that the guy that they went with didn't last very long with the management of the band and power struggles and all that. But I was already playing with the guitar player, and we were already making an album of our originals, and so that kind of ended up being my my silent audition for the band. Frankie Benali, the drummer, rest in peace. He had sent over a song and was like, this was a off the cutting room floor song that we left off of our album that we didn't end up recording anything. If you and Alex want to have any ideas for it, go ahead and record. And I was like, hey, Alex, it would be funny if I wrote lyrics to the song and we recorded it during lunch and send it right back to Frankie, which was like in 2 hours. So I wrote the song in 2 hours. Alex played a guitar solo on it. We recorded it, and we sent it back to him before he even got off of his plane from his trip. And as soon as he landed, he listened to the song and pretty much almost hired me on the spot. And that song ended up being the first single from Quiet Riot's Road Rage album that I was a part of and contributed to. And it also ended up being the first Quiet Riot music video in 29 years, and I was 27 at the time. So there had been more time between the last Quiet Riot music video than I was even alive, which was trippy. But I really enjoyed it when I was there, and but not all things, they say like not all good things last, and I kind of stopped having fun, and I really started missing my family. And I was turning down a lot of opportunities that I had gotten myself to up to that point that didn't involve the band. And so the time came up to renew my contract, and I decided not to renew. And yeah, but I'm still proud of, we did 2 studio albums, 1 live album. I knocked off a bunch of, not bucket list, but a bunch of shows that I really, really wanted to play. A lot of festivals. Got to go to Italy, got to go to Mexico and Quebec, and just really special things and special memories that I still hold dear to me, even if that was just a moment in time and a chapter in the story.
It definitely sounds special. I would personally kill to go to all of these places. My next question for you is, previously we had Will Brimman from Voice on here. He said that the Voice could have been more accommodating to his autism and not necessarily exploited it for views. So my next question for you is, from the perspective of someone who's competed on a reality TV show, how can these shows specifically accommodate neurodivergent competitors more often than they do?
I'm not sure. For me, I mean, they were very, for American Idol back in 2011, everyone was extremely accommodating to me, but without pandering to me, because it's still a competition and there still needs to be, equal treatment for everybody. I don't feel like I got special treatment, but when they noticed that, I mean, they knew from the beginning, because it was a really long audition process to get on the show. And so I had probably 5 different auditions before I even made it to the judges. And then after that, we were on the show for like 5 months. So it was really long process back then for Idol. and then we went on the tour and everything. And I think at that point, like, I do have autism. It is high functioning, and it's been, there were some things that were really difficult for me to navigate, and for them as well. But it's, I felt comfortable there. I'd do it all over again. I can only imagine how well it's run these days, because all the people that were there that were like production assistants are now like the showrunners and the main producers. So they've been through it. They've been there for 20 years, you know, working their way up. And I think if you have talent to share, you know, they want the views on their TV show. So, you know, if you think you've got the talent to share, definitely take it to them, and be upfront about it. You know, don't say like a month later, be like, well, I am autistic, if you couldn't tell. But yeah, I think just be honest, be yourself, and don't expect special treatment, because, you know, it's still a competition. But yeah, they're always good to me.
Yeah, that's really good advice. With anything, really, you shouldn't expect special treatment no matter the situation you're given. You should put in work and not let your issues or whatever get to you. My next question for you is, what's your advice to anyone, neurodivergent or not, that wants to make it in the music industry?
I think everybody that's in the music industry wants to make it in the music industry. Anybody with a dream of music wants industry. I don't really know what make it is defined as, because that could be anything. For somebody, it could be being rich. For someone else, it could be have a platinum or gold record on the wall, or a Grammy, or, you know, or transition from music into acting and get an Academy Award, or be an EGOT, you know, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony winner, or having albums, or having 1,000 followers, or you know, a billion streams. It could be all of these different things. And so I think, like, for anybody that dreams of something, is like, you have to start somewhere. If you've got 5 followers on Instagram, those people follow you for a reason. Like, maybe some people click follow as an impulse, but they must see something that they like. And so you keep being you, and keep giving your people stuff that they like, and that you like, and just be true to yourself and honest to yourself. And it's okay to try different things. I've made rock albums, pop albums, Americana, heavy metal, AOR, adult oriented rock, country, jazz, kids music, Disney, a lot of 80s, a lot of yacht rock. I love music. And so for me, the success is the feeling of fulfillment that you get from it. Also, getting paid is awesome too. I'm not gonna act like it's not, but you got to start somewhere, and you don't stay there. That's the thing, is you have to find a way to rise up from it. And if you see an opportunity, take it. With me, like, I saw American Idol and I had no hesitation. I had nothing to lose. If you've got nothing to lose, you've got everything to gain. And the way that American Idol's done these days is so much more artist thoughtful. When I was on, you pretty much sign off everything, and these days I see so many artists go on there and sing their own songs, and then they're allowed to like release their music, and they're allowed to gain the streams, and they're allowed to like gain the royalties from it, and they own their publishing, and they can keep playing their own original music on the TV show. And then when you get voted or not get voted to go through, and you get eliminated, like, you're kind of on your own. Back when I was on American Idol, we were pretty much immediately signed to a management contract. We couldn't put out music on our own. We had to do it through the label. We had to give away, 40% of our income for all the different things and all the different people working on it. And it's just a different world for music these days. So I think like you define what success is. And the big thing that I've learned is not to compare. It's really difficult because I see a lot of other people. I see friends of mine that are doing amazing things and big things and my colleagues and contemporaries and everything that are just rising and doing all these amazing things. And I'm like, dude, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. That's so amazing. You're doing this. And they're like, yeah, well, you've been doing it for 14 years. Like, it hasn't all been, peaks. There's been some valleys, and there's the ups and downs. It's the roller coaster of the experience. What I've figured out is I really enjoy like a mesa. You know what a mesa is? Like a real flat top land.
Yeah, hot. We had those in Arizona when I lived there for a year.
Yeah. So like I look at that as like you rise, and then like it's not this full climb. You're not getting to a peak, and then it's just an immediate drop off on the other end. Like I want to climb, and I want to get to like a comfortable spot and just like ride that out, hang out on the mesa for a while, just for mountainous analogies in relation to success. But yeah, I think there's just so many things that you can do to define success, and you should be able to define your own success and whatever you want to do, especially music.
Yeah, that's a very nice way to put it. And I really like the Mesa analogy. With anything, really, it's all about not judging people by unrealistic standards or your standards and focusing on yourself and what you define as success. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
My last question for you is what does the future hold for you? Or do you have anything that you want to self promote on here, like an album or a single that's coming up?
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't put out music under my full name, James Durbin, since at least not a feature single. Since 2018, I put out an album called Homeland, which was a kind of a Americana alternative folk album, partially country. And I put that out while I was touring with Quiet Riot. And ever since leaving Quiet Riot, I've pretty much exclusively made like traditional heavy metal music. I've done 2 albums under my band Durbin, which is traditional heavy metal in the kind of in the realms of Judas Priest, Dio, Black Sabbath, that kind of stuff. And then I have a band called Clean Break that I've put 2 albums out with, which is also very, very heavy metal. I've had a feature a song that I co-wrote with and for Alan Parsons and performed that on his last album From the New World. The song is titled Give 'Em My Love, featuring Joe Bonamassa on lead guitar. And I've been privately releasing music under the name Jim Willie, JIMWILLY, which is kind of fun country songs that I've been sharing with my friends and family, and I've only now started to share those out to my fans and the greater for the greater good. I'm working on a bunch of new James Durbin music. Some of it's synth pop, some of it's synth wave, some of it's hard rock, some of it's kind of piano pop. Just kind of like I've pretty much at this point in the last 14 years put out every kind of music except for like hip hop, which isn't gonna happen probably not. I never say never, but I just have so much creativity rolling through me, and there's kind of no point for me to just like lord over it and be like Sog the dragon from The Hobbit. Like I don't need to like hoard all this gold. I just need to start sharing it, and you never know what's going to hit and what's going to at someone's ear. And so I'm going to start putting out music in the next month. Hopefully July and August. I know I'm definitely putting one out in September. But yeah, just follow me on Instagram at James Durbin Official and at Jim Willie Music. And yeah, and board the musical express. I don't know where it's going, but you got a ticket to ride.
Yeah, Heyman to anyways, that's going to do it for this interview. Thank you so much to James for coming on, sharing his perspective and an impressive resume. Hey, if you guys want to see more inspiring interviews, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Autism Digest channel. Check out our newest issue by going to autismdigest.com and be on the lookout for new interviews coming up on the Spotify by typing in Autism Digest. I'm there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.